From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Welcome to this special edition of Cronkite News, a newscast to focus on education in the state of Arizona. I'm Brittany Bade. Our Cronkite News team is committed to covering Arizona's schools, students, and systems. Over the past 2 months, we've taken an in-depth look at the state's education budget, the future of standardized testing and Common Core, as well as some success stories from our schools. Tonight, we invite you to stay with us as we look back at a series of reports we've developed on this key issue for Arizona's youth and future. From the controversy over Common Core to leadership, the future of education is becoming a focus of Arizona lawmakers this legislative session. Cronkite News has dedicated a team of journalists to track the story in the weeks and months ahead. We begin tonight with a closer look at standardized testing. Samantha Schatzberger is tracking new bills headed through the Arizona legislature. But first, Cronkite News reporter Mark Manguera looks at the opposition to the test, as well as alternatives.
Arizona School Superintendent Diane Douglas has been under fire since she took office due to her strong opposition to the Common Core and standardized testing. But there are legislators who believe her agenda is on the right track, leaving teachers in the middle of the education debate.
I think we just need to leave our paranoia at the door.
Stephen Hughes, a middle school math teacher in Glendale, admits the introduction of AZ Merit was a shock to many colleagues statewide.
This is not a federal agenda. This is a test.
Though he supports Common Core and standardized testing, he, like many legislators, says something needs to change.
What I think we're seeing is the realization that the road that we went down with assessment and accountability has gotten us off on a path that's not healthy for the system.
Representative and former teacher Chris Ackerley backs a bill that would allow parents to opt their kids out of statewide testing. Another bill, sponsored by Representative Jay Lawrence, would eliminate Arizona's use of Common Core altogether.
There are just good education systems wherever you look prior to Common Core.
Hughes says he likes the idea of measuring students on the same national scale.
I think I would say I fully endorse it, mainly because the Common Core is intended to be more, not just the standards, but to have the math practices melded in with them.
But Hughes advocated for 2 tests under consideration before AZ Merit was ever on the table.
The best thing I could say is the tests are already out there. Smarter Balance and the PARCC tests are 2 tests that states are saying, let's go ahead and use these.
The Arizona House Education Committee has a meeting this weekend. You can depend on Cronkite News to be there. Live at the state capitol, Mark Manguera, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News digital reporter Samantha Schatzberger is following all 4 education bills and their track through the legislature. Samantha?
Currently, there are 4 bills that would affect standardized testing and the implementation of the Common Core standards moving through the legislature. 2 of the bills, authorized by State Representatives Lawrence and Fincham, would prohibit the implementation of the Common Core in Arizona schools. One of them also requires giving the public notice to any standards changes. The other bill, HB 2392, would require that any assessment test administered be created within Arizona. The third bill would require the State Board of Education to adopt multiple achievement tests for districts and charters to choose from. The bill does require the tests to be nationally recognized, like the PSAT, Advanced Placement Exams, and Stanford Achievement Tests. And the fourth bill would allow parents to opt their children out of taking standardized tests without negatively affecting school or district achievement profiles. All 4 bills are currently still going through the legislative process in the House, where they will need to be voted on before becoming law. Live in the Broadcast Center, Samantha Schatzberger, Cronkite News.
Meanwhile, the feud between Superintendent of Public Instruction Diane Douglas and Governor Doug Ducey is beginning to get national attention. It all began when she fired 2 of the Board of Education's top staffers on Wednesday. Thursday, Governor Ducey reinstated them and issued a news release stating Douglas did not have that authority. On Friday, the Board of Education held an emergency meeting regarding the firings. That morning, Douglas called a last-minute news conference. Cronkite News reporter Angie Schuster breaks down the tense end to a politically charged week.
I believe I am within my rights and the actions I took. But apparently the governor feels differently. We'll resolve those issues so that we can make sure it's very clear in the future and none of these issues arise again.
The emergency board meeting got off to an interesting start when Douglas moved all of the media microphones placed at her seat. The board then went into executive session, and when Douglas returned, she once again removed all media audio equipment, dumping it far away from her.
All the media, I'm not going to be treated any different than any other board member, so if you'd like to put microphones in everybody's seats, you're most welcome to.
A roll call vote was held on a motion to give the 2 fired workers access to their offices, computers, and information they needed to do their jobs. It passed with just 1 no vote.
No, and I will explain my vote.
From Superintendent Douglas. President of the board, Greg Miller, made his own statement after the roll call vote.
I'm very disappointed in the actions of the department and its untowardness towards our employees and trying to stop the action and the work of the board.
The board voted to give board employees Christine Thompson and Sabrina Vasquez full access to their offices and documents by 8:30 in the morning on February 17th. But Superintendent Douglas had this to say.
I cannot assure by 8:30 a.m. after a holiday weekend that my staff here will be able to make all these changes possible.
Douglas said that other people had been assigned to facilitate the duties of the 2 fired employees. Whether or not they are granted access by the designated time is yet to be seen. In Phoenix, Angie Schuster, Cronkite News.
The budget proposal for Arizona education has been widely discussed lately. Cronkite News reporter Tweelan Nugent joins us now to discuss what Governor Ducey has planned for Arizona. Tweelan, what has been said about charter schools versus district schools in the budget?
Well, Superintendent of Public Instruction Diane Douglas has made statements saying Governor Ducey favors Common Core and charter schools. We've looked at the budget and have gotten some input on the money that could become available to charters.
I've seen the detail of what it is he's trying to propose, and it all revolves around exceptional, high-quality schools.
Former Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction Lisa Graham Keegan was instrumental in starting charter schools in Arizona. She now serves on Governor Ducey's education transition team, but she doesn't see his budget as favoring charter schools.
I don't think the conversation should be, we like district schools, we like charter schools, we like grade schools.
Governor Ducey's budget proposal includes a transfer of $24 million from the Student Success Fund to the School Facilities Board. If approved, that money will allow high-performing schools, district and charter, to expand. Some lawmakers see this proposal as favoritism.
I think over the past couple years, the legislative process has favored charters to some degree.
But the Arizona Charter School Association disagrees, saying schools still face consequences if they don't measure up.
District schools, even if they were to run in the red, have the full faith and backing of the state. Charters, if they run in the red, will close their doors.
If one thing is clear, there is a lot of disagreement about the budget, charters, and district schools. As for the disagreement between Douglas and Ducey,
I think we're probably in store for months and months of infighting, potentially 4 years. And I don't think that's good for our state, unfortunately, and it's not good for our kids or our school system.
We reached out to Governor Doug Ducey's office and asked if his budget favors charter schools. His spokesperson said the governor favors high-quality education. Some public school superintendents have urged parents to protest his budget. Our Cronkite News team will be following this story closely. Tweelan Nugent, Cronkite News.
More than 200 school district superintendents in Arizona signed a letter opposing Governor Doug Ducey's state education budget. Cronkite News reporter Brittany Bade explains why Governor Ducey's Classrooms First initiative may not be what it seems.
We cut to the bone. We've already cut the fat. Now we're down to the skin and bones.
School districts all over the state are strapped for cash.
It's either cutting skin or bones.
The Madison School District faces up to $750,000 in cuts, and the Chandler Unified School District could lose $6 million if the budget passes as is.
It's well intended that it be classrooms first. In the budget proposal, it just takes money away from the districts. It doesn't put any money into the classroom.
The Madison School District faces up to $7,500,000 in cuts, and the Chandler Unified School District could lose $6 million if the budget passes as is.
He does recognize that right now too much is being spent on the administration side, and so that's where the reductions are coming in.
But administration costs encompass more than you might think.
Things like counselors and librarians, school bus drivers, those kinds of things, security officers, really all the things that impact student achievement and creating a safe campus for our schools.
Some school districts say they are already being as efficient as possible.
We're using our resources best we can.
And another round of cuts like this would cause...
It is a conundrum.
A costly conundrum. In Phoenix, Brittany Bade, Cronkite News.
If the governor's budget passes as is, more than $113 million will be cut from schools statewide, according to some district analysis.
There's a new bill in the Arizona House that is trying to make higher education more accessible to students in our state. Cronkite News reporter Mark Mangura spoke to both educators and students who may be affected by this measure.
President Obama made waves at his State of the Union address when he announced his plan to make the first 2 years of community college free nationwide. Here in Arizona, one lawmaker doesn't want to wait around for Washington. House Representative Reginald Boulding doesn't want money holding students back from attending college.
I know that's an issue that many students have. They have the will, the motivation to actually go to college, but the barrier in place is they don't have the funding.
House Bill 2487 proposes that the first 2 years of community college tuition be waived for students, as long as they maintain a 2.5 or higher GPA.
That'd be great. I'm paying out of pocket and working 40 hours a week. I mean, it's stressful, but that'd be really great, honestly.
If this bill were to pass through the legislature, it would allow students to save the money they would originally have spent on community college, possibly allowing them to work less and focus more on their studies and other activities.
That's like the biggest part, learning how to manage your time and learn how to study and do your homework and still find time for that instead of just working 24/7.
This bill would benefit students in similar situations to Arizpe, but passing it may be tricky due to the recent budget cuts to Arizona education.
Clearly, we've seen a significant drop in state funding towards community college, which put a heavier reliance on student tuition as well as on local property taxes.
The next step for the bill is to move on to the Government and Higher Education Committee to be discussed and then possibly voted on. Representative Boulding hopes to get movement on the bill soon, insisting Arizona needs this bill to show that the state cares about education. I'm Mark Mangura, Cronkite News.
Graduation requirements are changing for high school students after a bill approved by the House and Senate was signed into law by Governor Doug Ducey. Reporter Katrina Arroyos is tracking its impact.
Well, Tweelon, that law makes Arizona the first state in the nation to require high school students to pass a civics exam in order to graduate. I spoke with students from Tempe's Corona del Sol High School about the new requirement.
In Allison Runn's AP government class, discussing politics is a daily expectation.
We talk a lot in here about states in relation to the federal government.
Everything they are learning in class are concepts that can be found on the civics exam. The new law will require high school seniors to pass the civics exam in order to graduate. It was supported by legislation for the impact it would have on students.
That might enhance their civic awareness and then ultimately their civic engagement. That seemed to us to be an important thing.
These seniors in Miss Runn's class are part of the school program We the People that focuses on U.S. government.
How many of you think you could pass the test?
The civics exam includes multiple choice questions on topics ranging from politics, history, and geography. The new law won't impact these seniors graduating in May, but these students feel it's important for all to understand this material.
The most important things about being a citizen is knowing how your government works.
So we wanted to see just how students and even lawmakers would do on the test if they had to take it now. What is the rule of law? A, everyone must follow the law except for the government. B, the president does not need to follow the law. C, the judges of the Supreme Court are above the law. D, everyone must follow the law.
D.
The House of Representatives has how many voting members?
There's 435 voting members. That would be C.
Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. A, Indian American War.
B. Spanish-American War, C. Canadian-American War, D. Gulf War.
Is it A?
Students need to pass the test with a minimum of 60% correct. Exams are available online for free to test your knowledge. Students graduating with the class of 2017 can get a head start and begin studying.
This year, Arizona students will take the AZ Merit Test to assess their knowledge of the new state standards adopted in 2010. Cronkite News reporter Justin McDuffie looks at some of the challenges facing the new statewide assessment.
The new statewide assessment, the AZ Merit, will be given to students for the first time this year, and many will be taking it in a new way.
The AZ Merit, which is actually an online test. There's an alternative version that's the paper and pencil test, but here at Copper Ridge we will be taking the online test.
But with this new format comes new challenges for students and teachers trying to prepare for the new test.
Students at a younger age, they don't normally have a lot of opportunities to be working with computers, especially in serious testing kinds of conditions.
When students do get the opportunity in some schools to be on the computer, it's normally just for fun.
From some of the research that I've conducted in terms of online testing, particularly younger students don't take it as seriously because they are more used to computers and gaming types of environments, and they don't see computer testing as non-game activity.
Younger students may also be at a disadvantage because they don't have the necessary computer skills, especially keyboarding skills. At one Valley school, they are preparing to take the AZ Merit online and changing the way their students learn to include more typing.
And then practicing not just letters, not just words, but actually paragraphs and papers online. So we're building their stamina.
Stamina they'll need for the nearly 7 hours of testing during multiple days this spring. In Scottsdale, Justin McDuffie, Cronkite News.
The AZ Merit testing window begins on March 30th and ends on May 8th. Check with your local school for specific dates for your child's test.
On Friday, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, along with State Senator Jeff Dial and Representative Brenda Barton, went out to Cave Creek Unified School District to show their support for all-day kindergarten. Cronkite News reporter Mariah Ellis visited Horseshoe Trails Elementary School to take a tour with them.
I went to kindergarten 75 years ago.
The children at Horseshoe Trails Elementary School got a special surprise. A visit from Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
He's cool. He keeps us safe.
On this day, Arpaio focused on keeping kids in school. He joined Arizona Senator Jeff Dial and Representative Brenda Barton to support and promote the importance of all-day kindergarten.
Kindergarten as a grade is important to the mandate that Arizona has that by the third grade, our third graders, in order to be promoted, will in fact read at grade level.
Today, Arizona lawmakers don't require full-day kindergarten, leaving it to schools like Horseshoe Trails to figure out how to fund it on their own. Attorney Rodney Glassman helped organize this visit and insists longer school days at this age are critical.
Kindergarten at age 5 is when the brain's developing, it's when kids are learning their behavior patterns, it's when they're learning English and math.
Glassman also says that it's important for other reasons as well.
80% of prisoners nationally are high school dropouts. There's a 1 in 5 chance if you're not reading by third grade that you will drop out of high school. And the best treatment, the best thing we can do for our kids to make sure that they're reading by third grade is provide them with a full day option.
Which is one reason why Arpaio is supporting the lawmakers' bill, which would require schools to offer free, full-day kindergarten to every student.
So we have to start young.
The students ended the day by having a lunch with their guests.
A child's trajectory that is set in kindergarten has lifelong effects.
The lawmakers hope to take this lesson from the classroom to the Capitol. In Phoenix, Mariah Ellis, Cronkite News.
Arizona is one of several states that provides some CPR training in schools but doesn't require it. Cronkite News reporter Tara Taragino met with a family of a young girl who used what she learned at school to make a life-saving decision.
I just ran up the stairs and saw her blue in the water.
2 years ago, Emily Singh's youngest daughter, Gracie, slipped underwater after having a seizure in the bathtub in their Scottsdale home.
Grabbed her, got her out of the tub, and had her on the floor.
And before mom could do anything, her oldest daughter,
Chloe, just pushed past me and started doing chest compressions.
Chloe learned hands-only CPR from the Scottsdale Fire Department during her health class at Copper Ridge School.
She was drowning from a seizure. I had to do CPR so she would get the water out.
Her mother had no idea.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't know she knew it, first of all. And when Gracie started coughing up water, I was just so relieved.
CPR training is required in 20 states for high school graduation. Arizona isn't one of them. But that would change under House Bill 2594, which would allow schools to provide CPR training to students in grades 7 through 12. The House Education Committee gave preliminary approval to a bill, and at least one opponent says it's a great idea. However,
it's another unfunded mandate where they want the schools to do yet something else, but they don't want to provide any funding.
But Singh feels differently.
I think everybody should learn it, and I think all schools should require it.
And Chloe agrees that it's important for students her age to learn these skills.
Because you never know when an incident will happen.
The Singh family now lives in Virginia, where CPR training became mandatory in 2013 for high school graduation. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Tara Terragino, Cronkite News.
A new program is helping inner-city youth dream big. As Mark Manguro reports, the Legacy program makes sure these kids have the skills they need to succeed in a professional work environment.
When the final bell rings, most kids are done with school for the day. But in Phoenix, a small group of students choose to stay late to help prepare themselves for their future.
Bam! Everybody saw it?
The Legacy program helps students who might not see college as an option and gives them the skills necessary to get a degree and compete for a job. With limited spots available, not every kid made the cut.
The school has identified a student to be at risk or need some mentorship.
Growing up in a tough environment has a way of making young people feel defeated. Legacy works to change that mindset.
I am a leader and an innovator. Through visualization and critical thinking, I will accomplish whatever goal I set in my mind. My legacy has begun.
Students from Camelback, South Mountain, and Metro Tech High School all participate in the Legacy program, meeting Monday through Wednesday during the week and on Saturdays as a group to work on character development and life skills.
Just to talk about a lot of personal things and a lot of things that we need to get out and almost like venting so it doesn't pretty much pop up when we go into the workforce.
The instructors also focus on teamwork and use unique methods and personal experiences to connect with the kids.
As I get to know these kids, it's really exciting to see that and how we share some similar barriers that I had to overcome. And so it's a really cool opportunity.
As the character development phase finishes, students will move into financial literacy training as the next part of the program. In Phoenix, Mark Mangura, Cronkite News.
More Arizona students now have access to art classes, but there's still room for improvement. Cronkite News reporter Justin McDuffie is live in the broadcast center with the details of this report. Justin, you visited a school dedicated to the arts.
That's right, Jamie. 71% of schools in Arizona now offer some kind of art classes. That's up from 2010. That's not a surprise to students at the Arizona School for the Arts, who earned a visit from the United Nations Arts Ambassador.
Art opens people's heart more than language can do.
Ambassador Ibianca Alo travels the world promoting peace through art. One stop on his tour, the Arizona School for the Arts, where theater, dance, and music classes take center stage.
It's not just because all students are artists, but all of us have an artistic, creative nature that needs to be tapped.
More students in Arizona are now able to tap into their artistic side, according to a report by the Department of Education, but there's still untapped potential.
And until that framework shifts to having arts as an imperative in education, to be a basic core competency that all students should be able to access, I think the funding is going to continue to be a difficulty for schools.
More than 100,000 students still lack access to arts instruction by highly qualified teachers, something student Laurel Freeman says she didn't get before.
I'm so thankful to be able to attend school here and to be so involved with the arts and to have a community that fosters that and helps me grow academically and artistically.
According to the study, now nearly 90% of Arizona K-12 students have access access to arts education. Students also have a greater opportunity to take both music and visual art classes.
Arts can't be seen as something that gets cut the first second that the budget gets tight, and that's typically what happens, and it's not just in Arizona.
Studies show that the arts improve creativity, a quality employers look for.
You can find out what classes are offered in your school district by logging on to azarts.gov. Live in the broadcast center, Justin McDuffie, Cronkite News.
Listen to this, one Valley teacher has been chosen as a finalist for a Grammy Award, thanks to a unique class to immerse his students in music education. Cronkite News reporter Angie Schuster visited Arcadia High School to see what makes this music program different from the rest.
This mixer is something you might find at a professional music studio. And you'll find this one at Arcadia High School, part of Richard Maxwell's music class. He created a special program at the school that operates as a record studio and label. This unique career and technical education program is what got him nominated for the Grammy's Music Educator Award.
It's amazing to be, to even be considered for this award.
Maxwell is still in shock.
I keep waiting to get this phone call from the Grammy Foundation saying, hey Max, we're really sorry. Turns out there was a clerical error because what we're doing doesn't really fit in.
The last thing Maxwell's program does is fit into the norm. Students get a chance to write their own songs, perform them for large audiences, and record their own albums.
Some students are more artists, writing the music, performing the music. Some of them are more producers, maintaining the studios, doing the production work and running the shows. Or creating those albums that we were releasing.
But just like the students come together to lay down tracks, they came together to nominate their teacher.
Honestly, it means he's more than just a teacher, because he allows us to do so much and so much for ourselves, and gives us so many creative outlets.
Just being nominated for this award is already a win in Maxwell's eyes.
For me, win or lose, my hope is that the attention that we've been able to get because of the nomination, I'm hoping to see, I would like to be able to help more people do this.
And he's already sharing his teaching model across the state. In Phoenix,
phones level all the way.
Angie Schuster, Cronkite News.
Thank you for being with us for this Cronkite News Education Special. We look forward to bringing you more in-depth reports and all of your Arizona news every weeknight at 5 on Arizona PBS 8 HD. Good night.